Every 4 years, England arrives at the World Cup with everything. World-class players, superstars worth hundreds of millions, the best league in the world, and an entire nation convinced that this is finally their year. From Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, and Bukayo Saka today, to Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, and Wayne Rooney before them. England never seems to run out of talent, and yet, for almost 60 years, they have only won one World Cup. One. The question is, how can a country that consistently produces some of football's biggest stars keep falling short on the biggest stage? The answer isn't bad luck, it isn't penalties, and it definitely isn't a lack of talent, because England keeps making the same mistake, again and again and again. A mistake so deeply rooted in English football that it has become part of their identity. And until they fix it, the World Cup may continue slipping through their fingers. England doesn't just play football. England lives football. No country turns footballers into celebrities faster. A teenager scores a few goals in the Premier League, and suddenly he's called the next great English hope. Remember Jack Wilshere? Remember Dele Alli? Remember the endless comparisons between young English stars and legends of the game? The hype machine never stops, and every World Cup begins exactly the same way. The media says, it's coming home. The fans start dreaming. The players are reminded every single day that an entire nation expects greatness. But expectation can quickly become pressure, and pressure changes everything. Suddenly, every pass matters. Every mistake becomes national news. Every missed chance feels like a catastrophe. The World Cup is already the most intense tournament in football. England somehow manages to make it even heavier. Other countries play with pressure. England often plays with fear. Fear of making mistakes. Fear of disappointing the nation. Fear of becoming the next player remembered for failure. And that fear has haunted generations. Perhaps the greatest example came in the 2000s. England possessed what many considered one of the strongest squads in world football. David Beckham, Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, Wayne Rooney, John Terry, Rio Ferdinand, Ashley Cole. On paper, it looked like a team capable of winning everything. Instead, they won nothing. At the 2002 World Cup, they were eliminated by Brazil. In 2006, they lost on penalties to Portugal. The golden generation never even reached a final. But why? The answer reveals England's biggest mistake. Instead of building a team, England tried to fit every superstar into the lineup. They had Gerrard and Lampard. Both were world-class. Both wanted freedom. Both were leaders. Both played similar roles. Instead of asking, what system works best? England kept asking, how do we fit everyone in? And that's where everything went wrong. The team became a collection of stars instead of a coherent football machine. Brazil won World Cups because every player understood their role. Spain dominated because every player fit the system. Germany succeeded because the team always came before individuals. England, they kept trying to squeeze every famous name onto the pitch. And football doesn't work like that. Having great players isn't enough. You need balance. You need chemistry. You need sacrifice. And England never truly found it. This problem didn't disappear with the golden generation. It kept returning. Different players, same mistake. At different times, England possessed Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, Marcus Rashford, Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice, Reece, James, all extraordinary footballers. Yet criticism often returned. Why doesn't England look as good as these players do for their clubs? Why does the football sometimes seem cautious? Why does the attack feel restricted? Because England still struggles with one question. What is England's identity? Spain knows exactly who they are. Germany knows exactly who they are. Argentina knows exactly who they are. England? Sometimes they look like a possession team. Sometimes they look like a counter-attacking team. Sometimes they press aggressively. Sometimes they sit deep. The identity changes. The names change. But the confusion remains. And at World Cups, uncertainty is deadly. The best teams don't discover themselves during tournaments. They arrive already knowing who they are. England often arrives still searching. There is another problem that has haunted England. Fear. Watch many of England's tournament games. They score. Then they become cautious. They gain control. Then they stop taking risks. It's almost like avoiding defeat becomes more important than chasing victory. The greatest teams don't think that way. Argentina attacked fearlessly in Qatar. France kept believing until the final seconds. Spain dominated games because they trusted their style. Champions play with courage. England has often played with caution, and cautious football creates hesitation. Players take fewer risks. Attacks become slower. Confidence starts disappearing. The team begins reacting instead of controlling. And at the World Cup, hesitation can cost everything. Whenever England loses, people immediately mention penalties. And yes, penalties have been painful. Germany, Portugal, years of heartbreak. But penalties are not England's biggest problem. They are simply the ending. The real question is this: why does England repeatedly find itself in matches decided by tiny margins? Why do games become so tense? Why does the team struggle to fully impose itself? Because too often, England becomes afraid to take control. The penalties are just the final chapter. The deeper issue happens long before the shootout begins. To be fair, one man deserves enormous credit. Gareth Southgate inherited an England team that had lost confidence. The team had suffered humiliations. Belief was at an all-time low. Southgate changed the atmosphere. He made the players enjoy representing England again. He built unity. He rebuilt confidence. And the results improved dramatically. England reached a World Cup semi-final, then a European Championship final, then another deep tournament run. Those achievements should not be ignored. But even under Southgate, one criticism remained. Should England trust its attacking talent more? Should they take more risks? Should they play with greater freedom? Because when your squad includes Kane, Bellingham, Rashford, Saka, and James, the world expects something extraordinary. So what is England's biggest mistake? It's actually very simple. England often plays with the fear of failing. The pressure of history follows them everywhere. 1996, the penalty defeats, the golden generation failures, the years of disappointment. All of it creates psychological baggage, and eventually that baggage changes football decisions. Instead of asking, how do we become unstoppable? England sometimes asks, how do we avoid another disaster? Those are two completely different mindsets. One creates fear, the other creates belief. Champions don't play to avoid failure. They play to win. That is the difference. And perhaps it explains why England repeatedly comes close but never quite gets there. England is one of football's greatest mysteries. The talent is there. The passion is there. The resources are there. Everything needed to win another World Cup exists. Yet the same mistake keeps returning. Pressure becomes fear. Fear becomes caution. And caution prevents England from becoming the team it could be. Because when England plays freely, they can beat anyone. They have the players, they have the quality, they have the experience. The only question left is whether they can finally let go of the past. Because the players wearing England shirts today didn't lose in 1990. They didn't miss penalties in 1996. They didn't fail in 2006. Those memories belong to history, not to them. And maybe, just maybe, The moment England stops fearing failure and starts fully believing in itself. That will be the moment football finally comes home. Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to Football Origins for more football stories from around the world.